difficult to create what you desire if you don't have commitment and belief, and if you don't have courage. And I want to tell you a story that relates to this. And it's kind of a biblical story or a midrash where somebody has filled in the gap where in a story, a biblical story. And I love this story. But recently I was thinking about it in a different light, in light of how we create. And in the past, that's not necessarily how I've thought about it. But that's how I'm thinking about it now, and that's what I want to share with you. So the story is of a man named Nachshon. I can't remember his full name. Should have gotten that before I shot this video. Anyway, the story is that when the Israelites left Egypt, they arrived at the shore of the Red Sea. And the Egyptian army had decided to come after them. And so the Egyptian army is coming towards them, and Moses and all the Israelites are standing at the shore of the Red Sea, and there's nowhere for them to go. And Moses is up there, with his rod and his, hand, and saying, asking for the seas to be parted so that they can safely go to the other side. And as the story goes, nothing's happening. And there is this man, Nachshon, and Nachshon, unlike everybody else who is standing on the shore, scared out of their bejeebers, right? He begins to walk into the water. And he takes one step in and 2 steps and 3 steps, and he's up to his knees. And then he keeps walking in, and he's up to his hips. And he keeps walking, and he's up to his chest. And he keeps walking, and he's up to his chin. And he keeps walking until the water is up to his nose. And if he keeps going, he's eventually going to drown. But it is that point when he is, up to here in the water and is unable to breathe, that suddenly the waters part. That is when the waters part, not when Moses holds up his rod, his rod, not when he, says whatever he says. I can't even remember. Normally I know that. Anyway, it is Nachshon getting in the water with courage, with commitment, with faith and belief that parts the waters. That is how we create what we want in life. That is how we manifest it, if you want to say that. We manifest it in those ways. So the thing is that Nachshon was fully in, not just fully in the water up to here. He was fully in, and he was committed to this mission. Something inside him said, walk into the water and see it as parting, and it will part. How much of that have we heard in law of attraction circles, right? You have to see it in your mind's eye, and you have to believe it, and then take the actions that align with that, right? And so that's what he did. He was fully in. He said, this is it. I'm going to do it. And he did. And he had full belief, full faith that if he stepped in, this is what would happen. If he continued to walk until he was covered in water, that God or source or creator would part the sea and allow his people to walk through. He was courageous enough to take a risk, right? Could have died. Of course, he could have turned around and gone back to the shore too, right? But he was committed, and he took bold action. He was courageous, and he was fully committed to what he was doing. Fully committed, and he believed that it would work. So here's the thing. If you want to create something and you're standing around with your toe in the water, right? You're at the edge of the shore, and your toe is in the water, but you're not actually stepping in to the water. Sorry, my notes are flying around. If you're standing on the shore and your toe is in the water, you're only partially committed. You're not fully committed. You don't have 100% faith. You're not being courageous. You're just like, I'll try it and see what happens. Maybe if I stick my toe in, God will, or source will bring me what I want. That won't cut it. Not when it comes to manifesting things, because you don't have commitment. You're not being courageous. You're not having faith. You're not all in, right? Now, if you're just standing on the shore watching everybody else, okay, so obviously no commitment, no courage, no faith, no belief, nothing. You know, you can't create from that place at all. From that place of I'll just stand here and I'll see what happens if other people do it. That's not how it works. You have to create from the place of commitment and courage and belief and being fully in. And I know this is hard. I know it. I teach about this stuff, and I can't say that it's that I always get it right. Sometimes I am not as committed as I need to be. Sometimes I don't have the courage to go all in. Sometimes I don't have the faith that source or creator is going to answer my prayers, to bring me what I want. But here's the thing, we can't just expect source or creator or whatever you want to call God. We can't just expect it to dump what we want in our laps. We have to have faith in how the universe works. And the universe works by, in terms of manifestation or creation. I like to call it creation. In terms of creation, if you aren't committed to what you want, like if you aren't clear on this is what I want and committed to it, to making it happen, being willing to take the courageous, bold action, and having faith that when you do that, when you commit 100%, when you're all in, when you have faith and you believe and you can see it and you know that when you step into that water, something's going to happen. It's not going to happen. It just won't. And I've written a lot and spoken a lot about faith. I think sometimes the faith is the most difficult part, because when we haven't seen it happen before, we don't, we want to see it to believe it. And so then we lack faith because we we don't have proof. But faith is about not having proof. And so you have to just decide that you will commit to your vision, to what it is you want to create, and go all in with it. And have the faith that by doing that, by taking some bold action in alignment with that commitment, with what you want, to what you want to create, that something's going to happen. That's believe that something will happen. And that stepping into the water, Nakshon, stepping into the water is the action. And so many law of attraction people don't, or so-called experts don't talk about the fact that you can't just visualize it and have faith that it'll show up. You can't just be committed to that vision. You have to actually take some bold action. You have to do something. And that is when something happens. When Nakshon walked in with commitment and courage and faith, when he took that action, that is when the waters parted. You have to take some action. So I hope you found this video inspirational. I heard somebody talk about Nakshon recently, and it reminded me, like I said, I've written about Nakshon, and I talk about Nakshon in this story quite often, but gave me a new little twist on it, and thought it applied really nicely to the whole idea of creating what we desire. So let me know in a comment down below what you think. Do you take action? Are you, when you visualize what you want to create, are you committed to it all in? Do you take bold action? And do you have faith that doing that will create the inspired results that you desire? Let me know in a comment down below. I'm Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I am a certified high performance coach and an intuitive transformational catalyst, meaning I'm a transformational coach. I love helping people step into being the kind of person who can do the things that help them create what they want, and getting them out of the way so that they can create what they want. Because if you're not creating what you want, then you're in your own way. It's your thoughts and your actions, your mindsets and your behaviors that are standing in the way. And I know this because I am human just like you. I am also a spiritual being having a human experience. And sometimes we got to figure out this human stuff, this physical stuff. And that's what I like to help people do, figure that out so that they can step into their power as a creator and create a life that feeds their soul, create what they desire. So if that's of interest to you, click on the link above for the Inspired Creator Community. That is where I offer group high performance coaching and transformational coaching and spiritual trainings. So it's basically personal and spiritual growth because that's what we need. We're spiritual beings having a physical human experience. We need personal and spiritual growth coaching to help us step into being who we need to be to realize our potential, fulfill our purpose, and live in soul alignment. So again, if that's of interest to you, click above. If you have questions, leave me a comment down below or go on over to my website, ninaamir.com, and leave me a message. Okay? Till I talk to you next time, as always, go out there and achieve more inspired results.